If you're rear-ended in a car crash, you may be thinking that the insurance company will quickly fix your car and pay your medical bills. And maybe you hope that they'll handsomely pay you for your pain and suffering. In this video, I'm going to reveal why the complete opposite is often true, which is that your rear end case usually isn't worth much. But I'm also going to expose some simple steps to take that may make your case 10 times easier, so that you hopefully get a huge settlement check delivered to your door like the one I gave to my client, William. I can't wait to see his reaction.
Hi.
William, how are you? Good to see you. I brought you your settlement check.
Oh my God! Oh my God, can't believe it. You bring my check.
Thank you. To reveal the first reason why most rear end accidents aren't worth much, let's look at a typical crash. You get hit in the rear. It's a scary, painful, and extremely frustrating experience, even if you feel relatively okay immediately after the impact. Oftentimes you'll realize in the days and weeks following a rear end crash that you have one or more of the following: lingering back or neck pain, headaches, or other pain that just won't seem to go away. And you assume because the other driver was clearly at fault, you'll get a fair settlement. After all, shouldn't you be compensated for the time and hassle of taking your car to the body shop for an estimate and repairs? For years, you've likely seen ads showing people getting huge amounts of money in car accident cases. And now you think it's your turn. But you may not know that insurance companies for the at-fault driver usually fight rear-end claims aggressively. They often make you an insultingly small settlement offer. But why exactly does this happen so frequently in rear-end collision cases? The cold, hard truth is that most rear-end impacts tend to settle for amounts way under $20,000 on average. For now, I'm talking about how much the insurance company offers for your medical bills and pain and suffering. $20,000 may sound like a decent chunk of change, but it's relatively small because of the following. You need to pay any medical bills that you owe from your settlement. But why do insurance companies tend to place such little value on these common rear-end collision injuries like back and neck sprains or whiplash? There are a few reasons why they fight so hard to minimize payouts. First and foremost, the pain, discomfort, and physical limitations associated with these injuries are usually temporary in nature. They usually resolve in a matter of days or weeks in most cases. Additionally, these type of injuries do not show up on x-rays, MRIs, or other diagnostic imaging tests. This makes it extremely difficult to prove how badly you're hurt. And insurance companies like Progressive, State Farm, and all others jump all over this. They use the lack of visible evidence of your injury to justify why they're paying you so little. The challenge of proving that your whiplash or back pain is serious is even harder if you're in a no-fault insurance state. In no-fault states like Florida, to get paid for pain and suffering in most rear-end cases, you need the following. A doctor will need to say that your injuries are permanent. In these no-fault states, if a doctor doesn't say that your injury is permanent, you usually aren't entitled to money for pain and suffering. And no one, and I mean no one, knows these laws better than insurance companies. Insurance companies will spend huge amounts of money fighting and denying claims where your doctor doesn't say your injury is permanent. Before I started handling rear-end claims 20 years ago, I never realized the extreme measures that insurance companies would take just to save a buck. So the number one reason most rear-end accidents result in victims getting only a small settlement is because most injuries are minor, which is great for your health, but horrible for your case. If you have back or neck pain from a rear-end accident and don't get a special scan called an MRI, it's like putting a cap on how much money you can get for your injuries. Without this scan, your case might only be seen as having minor injuries, which is what I call a level 1 case. I think of level 1 cases as those where we can't actually see what's wrong inside your body. I rarely see level 1 cases settle for over $25,000. Consider asking your doctor to send you to get an MRI if you have one or more of the following: back or neck pain that's serious and hasn't gone away in weeks, or your back or neck pain travels down your arm or your leg. If you have pain running down your arm or your leg, immediately let the other driver's insurance company know this in writing. Tell them that the radiating pain is likely a symptom of a herniated disc. This way, the insurance adjuster may increase the claim reserve. That's the amount of money they are legally required to set aside to pay your case. If you get them to raise the claim reserve early on, it may move your claim along much faster when it's time to settle. And this can avoid holdups. Dealing with insurance companies in rear-end claims is like being stuck in rush hour traffic. It can take a long time, and it's frustrating when you just want to get to your destination. If your MRI shows a herniated disc, think of it like finding a faster route. You'd want to take that route right away by sending the MRI report to the insurance company quickly. If the MRI shows that you have something wrong like a herniated disc, I call this a level 2 case. If their MRI reveals a herniated disc, quickly send the MRI report to the insurance company. Now here's some bad news. The other driver's insurance company may not trust your doctor's report. Yes, insurance companies are very skeptical. Believe it or not, they might pay another doctor to review your MRI to see if they agree with what your doctor's MRI report says. Insurance companies will spend whatever it takes to fight rear-end claims. So send them a copy of the actual MRI CD too. Let me give you an example of how an MRI may get you a sizable settlement in a rear-end accident case. William lived in a poor country with extremely limited opportunity. His dream was to live in the US, and he finally made it here. He's a hard worker and was very happy to be living in Miami. For his job, he needed to be able to lift things and walk around. He'd seen car insurance company ads for years that talked about how they protect you. William was driving his car on a sunny day in Miami when out of nowhere he heard screeching brakes. He then felt a hard impact and his knee struck the dashboard. William felt instant pain in his knee. After the crash, he had difficulty walking, and then fear set in. If William couldn't work, how would he be able to support his family and pay his bills? He quickly hired me, and I immediately made a claim with the other driver's insurance, Geico. Like most Geico claim adjusters, the one assigned to this case was really sweet. So William's case would be easy, right? We then had to wait to find out if the other driver had bodily injury liability coverage, which is called BI coverage. BI coverage pays you if the other driver is at fault. It pays for your medical bills, lost wages, and pain and suffering. The good news is that the other driver had bodily injury liability coverage. I say it's good news because many drivers don't carry BI coverage in Florida, especially with auto insurance costs currently at record highs. William's case had many challenges. Damage to the back of his car wasn't huge. You'll see why this matters in just a moment. William's knee pain didn't go away, so he got an MRI of the knee, and it showed a torn meniscus. And after what felt like pulling teeth, Geico finally made an offer. William was excited that he was going to get money to pay his medical bills. Remember how I said that the Geico adjuster was really nice? Well, William was frustrated when he heard that Geico only offered $15,000 to settle. And that's not it. The claims rep asked for 7 years of his past medical records. They do this for 2 reasons. First, they want to see your medical history, but they also do it to overwhelm you. Many people feel stressed when they hear that the insurance company wants 7 years of their past medical records. After a hard-fought battle with Geico, I persuaded them to pay $65,000. Now, William can sleep a bit easier knowing that he can pay his medical bills and support the family that he loves so much. And he has learned a major lesson, which is that insurance companies fight rear-end claims hard. Even if you've had a lot of treatment for your back or neck or other injury, insurance companies use another aggressive tactic to pay you much less. They use this tactic in cases where the visible damage to your car is small. They'll fiercely argue that even if you have pain in your neck, back, or another area, the accident didn't cause it. In fact, some of the largest insurance companies will send you a letter just days after your rear-end crash. Often these letters argue that the collision was minor and suggest that any injuries aren't related to the crash. Yes, sometimes they'll even send this letter before they know what your injuries are. These insurance companies will spend thousands of dollars on engineers who'll say that the accident couldn't have caused your injury. Basically, they'll claim that the impact forces weren't strong enough to cause a lot of damage to the cars. Therefore, they'll say that these forces can't cause more than short-term injuries. Insurance giants like Geico, State Farm, Progressive, and others have developed horrible reputations for fighting claims where there's low levels of visible car damage present. And as you saw, Geico did that in William's case. Insurance companies often assume that your claimed injuries are wildly exaggerated in these accidents, and they instruct their adjusters to push back extremely hard on paying out any large settlements so that they can protect their bottom line profits. So on the flip side, if your car has a lot of damage, mention this every time you speak with the claims adjuster. All things equal, your claim is much stronger if your car or the car that hit you had a lot of damage. Do you know why the other driver's insurance company wants to know your date of birth? And no, it's not so they can send you a birthday card. It's so they can quickly look up your past claims that you've made. They want to know if you've complained of similar pain before your accident. And if you have, they'll often argue that your current pain is just old pain you had before the accident. The best way I can describe how insurance companies work in rear-end cases is the following. Think about someone you know who always has an excuse. Well, that's pretty much an insurance company in a rear-end claim. Except, instead of excuses, they'll give you a list of reasons why they aren't going to pay you, or why they should pay you a small amount. So can rear-end accident claims get more than a $25,000 settlement? Of course. In fact, I've settled many rear-end cases for $100,000 or much more, but I was only able to get these payouts because over the past 20 years, I've learned how rear-end cases really work. If you don't know how they work, the insurance company will take advantage of you, which likely means you won't get an offer or you will get a depressingly low offer. The good news is that I reveal my 20 years worth of rear-end claims knowledge in just 8 minutes in the video that's on screen now, link in the description below, so watch it right now. And if you've been injured in a rear-end wreck in Florida, click the link in the description below to see if I could be the lawyer for you.